You could have let us do
They get burning tires off, and I tell them, no, there's a crown bit jumps in.
There's a lot in this world we don't agree on. I guarantee you there's a lot at the Gold Rush Nationals.
You want up just at the end of this thing, just to make sure, but you got to talk me through this. I don't know where the hell your hand's going, man.
Sit back there in the pits while you're working on the car, look up at the big screens.
What's happening, Mr. Parker? It's episode number 22. Mark Elliott here in Ohio, Parker Lazenby in Utah for Wecrash TV Derby Podcast.
You read my mind. Fans, we live in a land with freedom like no other.
Mark Elliott. And Parker Lazenby. Get ready. Lights, camera, action. Welcome to the premier broadcast home of Demolition Derby.
Oh boy, the boss is in the house now. Sam Williams with Ultimate Derby, joining myself and Mr. Parker Lazenby on Wecrash TV. What's happening, fellas?
Living a dream, boys. How we doing? Parker, how's the car coming, bud? You getting your car done yet? All we hear about is this car. Are you getting it done?
Nothing special, and definitely coming along. Kind of building it. They're probably the wrong way, but it's happening.
That's awesome.
Not sure where I'm going, but I'm on my way.
By the time this thing airs, you're gonna have this thing on the trailer. So, I mean, it's gonna be right there, man. This is like the end of January.
Yeah, hopefully it's on the trailer. Fingers crossed.
Oh man, I'm excited, guys. This is our third one with you guys leading the charge. Super excited for where Wecrash is headed to and where our podcast is headed to. So you guys are doing a killer job on it, and we are super excited to have it. Want to talk a little bit about Gold Rush again, and go from there. So last week was fun. We had Devin Allen on, and that was a great episode. So what was your thoughts, Parker?
I mean the talent level at Gold Rush for me is already there, and I don't know, my favorite show to watch hands down. There's not a team there that couldn't win the whole show, and then you go ahead and add a team like SRDB, and I mean that's got to be something that every guy building in their shops thinking about that's headed to Gold Rush is what that heat draw would be like if they were to draw the Allens and Braun and Heinen, and I don't know, I'm excited, man. That's a hell of a matchup. I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see how the rest of this list unfolds. That's star-studded is all I could say.
Well, just to add to that, the type of drivers that run your Gold Rush Nationals of the world, any show of that caliber or better, they're excited when there's more competition, because I don't know anybody that runs there now that's looking for an easy trophy.
No, I agree. You take a look at, so basically what we talked about last week was we're going to take our 8 that qualified, worked their way in, got in, and then we're going to add 4 invited teams. What that means is they're going to be able to come from the backside. Someone will come from the backside. So you can lose the first round and still win the whole event, right? So of those 12, we're paying $100,000 to win. If one of the highest placing out of those 8 gets a $10,000 kicker, free hotel rooms for everybody for the 4. Every team gets 4 free hotel rooms and a free tent. I'm telling you what, it should be just a hell of a deal. You take a look at the 8. Let's recap the 8 that we've already got in. Chaos, Octane, Overruled, XP Derby Parts, RPM Redemption, Not for Hire, EPR, and Derby Tees. I mean, good night. Then you add SRDB to that, today's guest to that, and 2 more. It is going to be one nasty hitting sucker.
banger. I love it. I love it because every one of those teams, I remember there wasn't a bad heat last year, even after day one when the life got sucked out of them because they thought they didn't have a chance. And Sam, just to add to what you said, I'm forgetting what all we learned last episode, number 21, but their entry fees are paid. There's a new bracket that says, hey, you're not a dead duck on day one. If things don't work out, everybody goes there to win, but half of them don't win day one, period.
Yep.
But that ain't the end of it. They can still work their way back in. And I'm a story guy. Talk about a story right there. Somebody loses on day one and comes back and takes it on the last day. I'm getting fired up thinking about it.
Yeah. And, you know, it's for us, it's putting it out there once again. How do we become the best team show in America and do that? I mean, we spent a lot of time in Blizzard Bash. Blizzard Bash 15, 16. I mean, those shows were just amazing, right? First sellout ever at Blizzard Bash was 2015 to sell that. And then to build Gold Rush again. Kids had no idea how hard it was going to be to build this show. And now I'm going, let's just keep pushing. Let's keep driving. Let's keep pushing. And, I mean, we're excited. I mean, Parker, you've driven in the wheel, man. You've seen the team show. I mean, that facility is second to none, but, man, it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's in Rapid City, South Dakota. Amazing, beautiful area. And, man, it's a long ways from everybody.
Yeah, it's a hell of a trip. But, I mean, when you keep gathering the talent that you're gathering to put on that show, it makes every bit of the build easier, you know, because like we touched on last episode, there's like the saturation of so many, you know, promoters going to the team show, but, you know, you get the best of the best, you know, coming into Rapid City. It makes every part of the build better. It makes that extra, you know, $300 or $400 you seem to spend every single week, the months leading up to, you know, the show seem worth it. You know, your buddies are coming over to help you because they understand the magnitude of what you're walking into. And I don't know, the team that we'll be introducing here shortly, they're definitely adding to that talent pool. You know, they are the cream of the crop and just going to keep on rolling, man. It's best of the best.
Yeah, that's, you know, and I talked to Mark a little bit after Gold Rush and said, hey, there's two teams from back east that I would love to have. And I mean, Zach and those guys came and run our show up in Madison, and, man, they couldn't have picked a word. I mean, I appreciate them coming, but Madison was tough. I mean, it was just a tough show, and they handled it so well. And, I mean, talk about respectful bunch of guys. And I tell you what, I'm super excited for you guys to interview Zach today and talk about that. But, man, when I reached out to Mark and I said, man, I don't know if there's any way that we can get Triple Threat and SRDB. But, man, if there's any way to do it, I would love to get these guys to come out and show that the best of the best are running against the best of the best. And that was our goal in building Gold Rush this year. And, I mean, Zach, asked great questions, hit us right, and just said, hey, man, if this is something you really want to pull off, you can count us in. And, I mean, just super upbeat. And, you know, I look forward to, you know, you guys getting a little bit out of them of, you know, what their reaction to Madison was, what some of those different things were, and what they thought of the Ultimate Derby stuff. Because, again, at the end of the day, you put this good a group of guys together, and they're only going to make us better, right? They're going to give us suggestions on how tech can be better or how we can take care of them better. But, man, when they roll in and they get to walk into their free hotel room, put their stuff away in a free tent, they get their cool customized jacket that's laying on the bed and go, okay, now the week can start. That's what we're after is, man, how can we take care of these drivers at a whole nother level?
That sounds like a pretty good cue to me, pun intended. Parker Lazenby, you got the video queued up to bring in our guest for episode number 22.
From Team Triple Threat, let's welcome Zach Eaton.
What's up, Mr. Zach Eaton?
How's it going, fellas?
It's going good, man. Thanks for joining us from where? Franklin, Kentucky, or where you at?
Yeah, I'm right north of Franklin, right south of Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the middle.
Oh,
But yeah,
boy.
Southern Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. We're excited to have you. And I know you could hear Sam talking, but before we boot him out, we just wanted him to see you in person, in the flesh, and say a few words because I can honestly say I can't name another time I've seen anybody more genuinely excited to make these, I'll call them enhancements to this show that's already a great show.
We're super excited, Zach, to have you guys. And like I said, I couldn't thank you enough for how well you guys handled Madison and handled all the the controversy in Madison and the track we were struggling with and everything else. To trust us to come all the way from Kentucky to Rapid City, South Dakota, man, I just can't say thank you enough because I can't wait to see you on that stage, on that level, and just it's going to be awesome. Just watch what you guys have done in Bristol and all these other different shows around. I'd put you guys up against anybody in America, and we're super, super excited to have you, man. So thank you for trusting us, and thanks for coming, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate those words, Sam, and I appreciate the opportunity, man. We're looking forward to it, and also appreciate the, going back to Madison, I'd like to say I appreciate, at least the positive attitude moving through that week. I know some things didn't go as planned, but it seemed like it was. Yeah, just find the positives and everything. So
yeah, I had two kids just about disowned me, Zach. They said, "Dad, our shares are cheap today. Anybody want $5? $5 will sell out." All right, boys, I'm going to jump out of here, guys. Have a great podcast, Zach. Don't let these guys ask you too awkward questions, buddy. Just push back and just give it back to them, man. Have fun today, guys. And Zach, can't wait to see you guys in Gold Rush.
Yep. Thank you, man.
My man, Mr. Zach. Well, whatever direction we go is okay. We could kind of recap some of your 2025, and we could look out at 2026. I think Parker just wants to learn how to build a car.
Yeah. Yeah. If you check the flight to Salt Lake anytime recently, Zach?
He's talking to the wrong guy. We're never the heaviest.
I don't know about that necessarily. Yeah, no, this is the first chance I've ever, gotten to talk to you, Zach. I've seen you run kind of on every stage, and you guys are, top notch. Let's hear what was going through your mind when you got the, the call to come up to Gold Rush, and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, man. At first, it seems like a huge jump. Just geographically, we're kind of challenged in that sense. It's a long way to travel, but man, it's hard to turn down when you're a team derby guy. I mean, that's what we are. That's how me and my brother grew up. Nathan, our teammate, we grew up together as well, with my dad at the lead, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So that's our style, man. We if it's a team derby, it don't matter if it's Simpson County Fairgrounds here or Gold Rush. We want to be a part of it.
Yeah. When we talked to Devin Allen, he said something that I never really thought about, because team derbies it's kill or be killed. You can fix a car, but you can't fix a loss. And when that green flag drops, it's put up or shut up. And he said for them, it's kind of like back in the day when you kind of settle in and you let the crazies go out, or you take out the trash or whatever, all the above. And then you get down to it where it's us and it's them, and you really try to kill each other. It's kill or be killed. He said team derbies, it's like cutting everything else out but that. And you're at that point in the feature where it's us four and them four, and only one of them going to win. And I never really looked at it like that. What does it for you guys, or you specifically for the team aspect?
I kind of feel like, it's kind of a odd dynamic. If we split up and try to run shows, we tend to do decent. You know, we can shake it down with guys. It's just, you know, we go somewhere with the three of us. Usually it's going to end up that way, just how everything shakes out. You guys know how Derbying goes. You know, you got groups here, groups there. Let's just cut it all out, man. Let's do it the right way, and, you know, last team running wins, and seems a whole lot more fun that way. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cuts out the pecking order. Everybody uses the word politics. It's a pecking order. It's,
Yeah,
you know, where do you fall on that totem pole that night, and it's different everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say for at least my area, the team show part's attractive because I don't think anyone in my region's thinking strategically most of the time when we're driving. We just like to full track shit. And so now that the rest of the country's kind of gotten on the up and up with higher payouts, you see less guys come out this direction, and it's not very fun to full track your friends. So
Yeah.
and you're definitely getting that aspect of it too, where you just
another thing, you know, like you said, your friends, it's, you know, the team show setting, it's tough. I mean, we've done it plenty of times. You know, you show up and have to run against your friends, but hey, everybody puts the time in and spends the money. So, you know, at some point it's going to happen, and, you know, the best one's got to win.
Yeah. How many?
And
you're good, Mark.
Sorry, Parker. And you, the more fluent you get in a show, it ain't just like you got one friend there, one team you don't want to run against because they're from your local town. You become friends with all these people, and there ain't a draw you're looking forward to.
You're right. Yep. It's, you know, over the past years, I mean, I think, shoot, we run Spring Explosion 10 years ago, you know, and a lot of the same teams, you know, give or take a couple guys are still running. And it's like, you know, you see them every time you go, and, you know, shake their hand, and, you know, sportsmanship, and run the Derby. That's all you can do. You know, everybody's there for one reason, and we know what that is. Or at least in my opinion, I'm there for one reason. So.
Yeah, looking kind of at that driver's list of what's already at Gold Rush and then what's showing up, does that build at all make you nervous, or that hard of a track and that big? I'm not really familiar too much with your area and what the usual is or what the style is, but anything that's making you nervous about, you know, that style of build? Or
Man, I don't, you know, as far as building the cars, we're familiar with the build, I guess you could say. You know, I feel like you're always a new show. You know, there's some odd and ends that you might need some insight on or pay attention, but we try to do some research, and I actually jotted the teams down as you guys said them because I was kind of curious, and you know, a lot of good teams there. It's, you're gonna have to have your shit together, for lack of better terms.
Yes. Yeah. And that came up when we talked to Devin Allen about, you know, a lot of times you might go to a show and watch it and learn a little bit about it, or to, in your words, do your research. You know, this being so many hours from home, like you're going to have to do extra homework, and maybe even talk to some drivers, which is probably part of the homework, because of that interpretation. It's not that what do they allow that ain't in the rules. It's this rule says red and this guy reads black and that guy reads blue. We all read and understand different ways. So it's like, what are those inspectors? What do they interpretate? So, you know, you guys are on a learning curve just from that standpoint.
Yeah. And I I guess you could say, took a peek into that in Madison too. You know, try to take what we saw there and, you know, roll it into these builds and kind of just, I don't know, I won't say go a little too far. You know, you gotta nudge a little bit when you're traveling that far, but, you know, we always kind of live by, you got to be able to fix it at the track. You know, you can't leave anybody hanging.
Yeah. And speaking of anybody, you got brother, you got dad, you got Nathan. Adam, Bubba, same team, Nathan back.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
When did Nathan join Triple Threat?
So Nathan he's a couple years younger than I am. We grew up together. His dad and my dad are pretty good friends. Nathan ran with us some back in the Wicked Derby. We'll say when it was in Evansville, he traveled with us some and joined the team this past year. Well, we went up to the King Derby and run it, and he actually won that Derby. And then went to Bristol with us this year. So, and he went to. I actually joined him going to Madison up there. I hadn't originally entered that Derby, and him and one of his buddies were going, and so I joined them. Made the trip up.
And like thinking back to Bristol, because I had the youth nationals that weekend, I only got to watch a little bit of it before I had to go to do my thing at the Derby. And I remember seeing you guys had the Derby battle NLR, right?
Yeah, the first year we did. We run against John and Bob. Yeah, all of them guys.
That was the first year. Who I thought, man, who am I thinking of? Was it Derby builds? I seen a banger of a heat this past year that you guys. I mean, it was a knockdown drag out.
We tend to run the gauntlets usually. I don't know that I've ever got an easy heat draw, Mark.
Yeah, that ain't no kidding. Oh, I don't know who I was thinking of this year for Bristol.
You run against Devin and Brady this year.
Oh, gotcha. It was them. And it was that's exactly thank you. I need all the help I can get in life. And it's all that great, it's that gray hair. I got daughters, granddaughters, girl dogs. I got no hair. No, it was. And that was, it was a fist fight of a heat. I watched that, from the pay-per-view. And gosh, man, it wasn't like the track wasn't great. And then you're fighting, you don't want to screw yourself. And you guys were on an all-out roar. Was that the heat that took you guys out at Bristol?
It was, yeah. Yeah, we had a car go down a little early on us. My dad's car.
Yeah.
Man, and you lose a car against them kind of guys, and it's tough to get back. It's tough to gain your traction back. But yeah, not taking anything away from them guys there. Best in the game.
Yeah. And so at that point, what place did that put you guys in overall?
Not first.
Yeah. Doesn't matter after that, right?
Yeah. I think it kicked us back in. We run another one against Toast Inc., I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So your week wasn't over after that. You still got US Title. I got you. It was hard. It was so hard for me to follow because, I live under a rock anyway and being at that other show, but I did get to catch that heat in it, and it was a battle. It was a good one.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Parker.
I was say after, fixing cars all week long at Bristol and doing that 2 years in a row with that set of rules, is it pretty tempted just to pull an 03 in the shop for Gold Rush and maybe not even touch a fix-it plate all weekend?
Are
you guys bringing on old iron?
Probably just kind of. I feel like my dad's preached for a long time. You just do what you're comfortable with. If you got to drive one a little tore up, that's what you got to do to get it done. We just, man, they look cool, and they're hard. I just don't know a whole lot about them.
Yeah. Same. Absolutely. Stick with what's comfortable. I mean, this area, we can't really follow that advice because it's not too good of an idea to bring Dobas anymore. But, I mean, your GMs will probably be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I did mention to the guys, hey, what about something newer? But like I said, we just you think about the time it's going to take to get out there, and what all it's going to take. You just don't necessarily know if you want to maybe get off the beaten path just yet.
An experiment, yeah. And because, to your dad's point, going with what you kind of know what to expect. It might still not have been the right choice, but at least you know what you got, and when you hear that noise in over your right shoulder, you know what it is, and
Mm-hmm.
you know that car inside and out. People will probably never believe it, but back when me and Toby took them Crown Vics to Metal Ma'am in 2010, going way back, that's exactly why. And he's still pissed at me about that because we were building wagons. And I'm like, man, exactly what your dad just said. Like, we're doing so well in these cars. Why would we be in anything different? The plan wasn't to go there and the things go the way they did, but just feeding off of old Bubba, who's got a wealth of knowledge and experience in the sport. If it's down to the difference in you winning $100,000 and that car inside and out, I want to be an Old Faithful.
Yeah. Yep. Well said there. And I don't know if you guys, I mean, I do a lot of studying, I guess, on pictures, that sort of thing. A lot of times the winners, you just don't take you off guard, what they're in, what they're using, how they're building, that sort of thing. They don't stray too far from what they do good with.
Yep. That came up in episode number 20, and it was a picture that went around of Chad Markley's car, and he's running a factory GM column, and it ain't looking like a spaceship inside the cockpit of that car, and you sitting on the side of the track, you don't know that. You see somebody doing something great in the car, and everybody thinks you got to have all these bells and whistles, but it's just all got to work.
Yep. Just gotta work good for a weekend. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's only or that hour. Just got to work good for this heat.
Yeah. Maybe that 30-minute grudge match.
Yeah. So, you and Adam, you grow up in it. Was there anybody before Bubba, or did he start all this with Derby and then your family?
Yeah. So Dad and his brothers kind of got into it a little bit. Buy the car, borrow the boat tank, take it to the fair and run it, kind of stuff. And it is just, I think Dad stuck with it, out of all of them, and just kind of went from there. He had a really good friend that ran with him for the longest time when I was really young. So my brother and I, he's 9 years older than I am. So he had a little bit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a little bit more experience in the older, scene, I guess you could say, before online took over, that kind of stuff. So they all three ran quite a bit, pretty heavy there in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And then it got kind of where my dad's friend got out of it, and it just become, I think I started running when I was 13 or so. So from then on, it just kind of was us three.
Man, that's awesome. I didn't know that, which is why I love doing this. You're right. There was a time, like I always say, whenever I came in, it was right at the tail end of a lot of really good derbiers, and I was so blessed to get to derby on the track with some of those people. So Adam kind of fell in that early 2000s, mid 2000s. So when you ran your first one, then what year would you have been? 13 or around? When would that have been?
That would have probably been it would have been 09 or 10 or so.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe, somewhere around in there.
And that's when the shift was hot and heavy.
Yeah, everything was going to
kickers.
Ford. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd say, I guess everything went to Fords a little sooner, but you start seeing a lot on Facebook, pictures, that sort of thing. I really think that helped a lot, as far as cars taking off, builds getting a little bit heavier, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's that makes a pretty unique dynamic for your guys' team. And then just add Nathan is the bonus, kind of from 3 different eras. I think that's a big plus. Does that make sense? Like eras as in age group of people and the way people think and read rules and understand things. Like you, your dad, and Adam are all kind of from 3 different spaces. And then you add Nathan into that, who's grew up with you. That's a pretty interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I think, and I was thinking about this in the shop the other day. There's even like getting on this podcast, there was an era where nobody wanted to put anything on Facebook. Everything was a secret. There's an era of my dad's at which he don't give a shit what's on Facebook. He's going to just show up and run. And then there's an era of, like, say, mine and Nathan's age, I think is more of a builder, get on, look at pictures, really dissect the way things are getting put together. I think it's cool to see that and kind of just put it all together in one.
Absolutely.
Pictures don't quite completely satisfy me anymore, because I used to think, like the staple of being a badass derbier nowadays, you got to have a sick Vic. And then I put together a Vic that looked good on a picture, but was completely junk, bare bones. So
yeah.
We got the looking cool part. Sometimes I nail that, but I mean,
a lot of the cool looking ones kind of look cobbled up at the end.
I definitely
just got to have good looking quarters these days. That makes you a winner.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that, though, because social media is what you make of it. There's a bunch of bitching and crying and all that on there, but I don't see a lot of it because I don't pay attention to it and I don't look for it. And I think the more of that crap you click on, the more Facebook shows you. So usually I got friends in my life that tell me about all this bullshit, and I'm like, did you tell me that for me to have a better day or for me to be pissed for the rest of the day?
Yeah. Yeah. You can. At any given day, Joe Blow's on there bitching about a derby that never loaded his trailer once this year. So.
Oh, man.
How many times are you guys running a year, Zach?
Last year about put me under. And I feel like I didn't build that. I mean, I built, I think, 4 cars last year. I'm going to build 3 this year. So,
are you also possibly waiting for a check from a certain organization?
No, I'm not. We didn't do worth of shit. Clean cut there.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine even doing more than 1 car a year. So to be able to do that and then also, make the trip up to Gold Rush, you guys have got to be so heavily invested. But I did see in the intro video quite a few Eaton wagons. So if you guys got wagon money, you guys are probably flying to Gold Rush, right? And someone else is driving those things up there.
No, I wouldn't say that. We got half wagons. We patched the rest of
them. Fair enough.
Kentucky clean.
And Dad actually stripped his last week.
For Gold Rush?
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's sweet.
Is he still building alone? I remember whenever when we were crossing paths last, which was probably a year and a half or so ago, or a couple of years, and it was in Sturgis. I think at that time you had got a shop, and my memory's terrible. I would never bet on it. And he was actually alone in his shop. Is he still building alone?
Yeah. So I mean, just you guys know the time it takes to do this stuff. Like we've all got our own places that we build, and then we get them so far and kind of pull together and might take them to Dad's for a weekend or so and kind of band together and just tidy up some stuff. But being able to walk outside every night and maybe chip away at it an hour or so really helps.
Yeah. And you're gonna have to help me with the pronunciation. Is it help me pronounce your mom's name?
My mom's name is Dewana.
Dewana. So that's what I thought, but I would have had that announcer's fear there. Dewana. What was she like she's a true Derby mom, Derby wife. I mean, she's watched all you guys come up in it, and him, their whole marriage probably. Like, what was she like?
Yeah, she's a rock star, man. Just couldn't ask for any better. You never go hungry. You always have a seat. And if you ever get the shaft, somebody's always there to let them know how they feel.
That's the PG version.
She's the most soft-spoken person you'll ever meet until something happens.
What's more likely of getting Mama Bear out of the bleachers, if you or Zach take one, or Adam take one?
Adam usually doesn't get too much shit. It's usually everybody on my ass for riding around. I get fired up.
You're saying she's had a conversation or two with some officials.
Yeah, whether they heard her or not. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, they don't. I've never been able to convince anybody that I'm not just dicking off. I'm just making sure I understand what's going on everywhere, and you got to look everywhere. Like, I can't drive while I'm looking the other way, so I got to kind of sit there for a minute.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. Well, and then you guys got families of your own. So like, I'm just imagining this big picture of one great memory headed to South Dakota. Have you guys ever been there before?
No. So the furthest we've been, I went out to Kansas a couple times and run. That's the furthest we've all been. Even I think we've, my brother and I have been out to Colorado a couple times on vacation, sort of thing, just for a few days, but we've never been that way. So we're excited.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Good for you. And assuming the wives and the kids, it's going to be a family.
Oh yeah,
family convoy, we'll call it.
Not gonna leave them behind.
Well, it's beautiful out there. So, and what we talked about on episode 21, and Sam may or may not have mentioned it when he had you on earlier, but Ultimate Derby prides the driver's time, which is why they don't just let you stay up all night and work on your car. I don't know if we had a show that lasted 10 o'clock last year, and there was just always, it seemed like a lot of camaraderie, and everybody's going up to see the different sites that you just can't put words around until you see them in person. So I hope you guys have a great journey and a good time there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, man. And I think one thing that we might be kind of, I won't say stressing. I know Parker mentioned maybe being nervous about the builds and that sort of thing. I think maybe one thing we might be a little stressed on is help once we get there. We're a little thin anyhow. I mean, we got a few good guys that help us out a lot, closer to home. But as far as us building our cars, there's not a whole lot of us. We've got some young boys, but they're not quite, ready for that yet. So once they get grown, we might have a full squad, but we're kind of thin on working on cars, as far as that goes.
And go ahead, Parker.
I was just going to say, how many Eatons are we adding to the future team show teams? There are going to be 2 Eaton teams out there?
We're getting there.
What's the next generation look like?
You're getting close. There's, at least 3 or 4 anyways. So if they were all 14 or 15, we'd have these cars ready in no time,
Is Grandpa storing a few out in the back for them, ready to roll, or?
We all got a few put back.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Hell, he can't store any. He's running them up himself. every year's his last year.
He's just as eat up as the next person, ain't he?
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I'll never forget. Where was we at when he busted his nose? Was it Sturgis?
We was over in Illinois.
Oh gosh, man!
We was in a bee's nest that night.
Yes, and that stupid point series. Here's Bubba, and I'm like, "Here, man, I need to get your picture." And his glasses are busted off his face, and I'm trying to get his picture.
Yeah. The next weekend, he was like, he was ready to strip it down and pull the next one in. I said, dude, chill out.
I was worried about him too, because that was it. Did it break his nose? I remember it bleeding.
Yeah, no, I think it just busted him up a little bit. Yeah, woke him up.
And I'm looking at your mom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's only here because of me, and I'm a piece of crap. This is all my fault.
Yeah. Lured us in there.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
one thing, going back to my mom too. It makes me think, like when we were growing up, or those first couple I run, she'd kind of pull me to the side and, hey, if something goes wrong or you don't think you want to be out there, you just shut it off. And then you walk 10 more steps toward the car and Dad's waiting on you. Say, hey, you don't shut this motherfucker off, whatever happens.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you just heard, but this is the real deal. Oh gosh, man. It must be a dad thing. Like, I've seen Randy and Toby in some funky situations like that where, hell, I don't remember where we was at one night, but he fell off his damn bumper, tore his meniscus. He can't even get up. And, everybody's standing around. I think Adam was standing around, and everybody's volunteering to go out there and run this feature with me. I'm already in my car. It's running. We're ready to go out. He can't even get up off the ground. And Randy's like, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. And so, like, that's why I laughed when you said that about Bubba, because he's like, yeah, you better burn this thing down before you shut it off.
Yeah, and the first couple cars I ran too, my brother was obviously in my ear too. He's a little more heavy-footed, at certain times. So, he always gave me shit too.
Wow, that is we're glad that you guys came. It was all about what's good for you guys, and like we talked about with Devin on our last episode, even reaching out to you, I had just some head trash probably is like, is this going to come across wrong? Is it too soon? But it's like these promoters, man, their plans don't ever stop. And at first, what I told Devin at first is like, well, what are we trying to do? Cherry pick these people because they just came off of somewhere where they might not have had a great experience. But like, the more I talked to Sam about it and learned that he just wants a badass show, and he is so excited that you guys are coming. And so are we, because you guys, aside from the Derby track, you guys are just, there's enough bull crap running around the Derby world and negativity, and that ain't you guys, and that ain't this show. Any high caliber show, typically you don't have a whole lot of riffraff running around there, and this place is just badass. The facility, everything. You guys are gonna love it. I already know.
Yeah, and like I said, man, we appreciate the opportunity. I mean, it's huge, and at the core of everything, given the past, we're a team demolition derby, setting. That's all we're after. We want to run for good money, and we want to run other teams that are high caliber. We crave that competition. So that's where we want to be, whether that be, across the world or right here.
Yeah, man. Because if you were running against a bunch of duds and you won, like, that ain't the exact trophy that you're going to look at every day. Like, hell yeah, we did it. You want a trophy that, you went through complete hell to get. That's the trophies you want sitting on the shelf.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not a driver's list and a team list that doesn't look more like complete hell than the one we're painting for next year. I'm kind of glad I'm safe in the booth. I mean, one, I'm safe because I'm not as talented to be out there with you, Zach, but also I got a job. Well, when Nate gets cold feet, don't call. I'll be in the booth with Mark, and we'll have those nerds clusters and a Sprite, and we'll be safe. We'll watch you guys bang your heads together.
I did a little research, man. Looked like you got some good wins under your belt too. So I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. Luck. If the luck's all ran out, though, it's going to get pretty exposed this year. I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm going to get my ass whooped.
Parker's scared for February.
and July. So I'm running Cornhusker Chaos team show, and then that Wasatch one. I don't know if you saw those clips from the Wecrash pay-per-view of that show, but
yeah, I did.
I've never seen a more violent. I mean,
looked like some heads hanging off the roof there.
Oh my! There wasn't a lull in that show. I mean, there was no time to think. I mean,
yeah.
Holy cow! Like that. I'll be safe in the booth with Mark, so I'm luckily, going to be nice. You're going to probably have to look at your dental insurance before Gold Rush and maybe, book some chiropractor appointments.
Yeah.
But it'll all be worth it, man. I couldn't imagine going to Rapid City. I mean, you guys got the tents taken care of, the hotel rooms, feels like the promoter really wants you there, and like to be able to do that with your family, just like I couldn't imagine what that would mean to you guys to go to Gold Rush and get a win and like have that weekend together. I mean, win or lose, just being together at that stage. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I don't really come from a Derby family, but I'm sure jealous seeing guys like yourself and, the group that you roll with. And it's got to be pretty awesome to be able to do that with those guys.
Yeah. Sometimes I think the women may get a little overwhelmed with it. It takes over every dinner, every interaction. There's something going on. What car are you going to take? What are you going to do? It didn't take much. I didn't have to really do much convincing when I told them the scoop. Everybody was pretty well ready. So
that's awesome, man. And it's only going to get better as you guys start your builds and get to planning, and the women or hell anybody is going to be Googling things to do in South Dakota. Like, oh, we need to go there. And it should be a pretty good experience for you. You said you were going to build a few this year. Where else you got on the clock for this year?
I'm going to be at the they call it the Bourbon Beat down in Louisville.
Yep.
I think that's the first weekend of April.
Yep.
And then we're going to go up to the Bash for Cash this year and run the team show there.
Nice.
And then Gold Rush.
That's awesome. That's a good card. And since they got that track fixed in Freedom Hall, that should be a pretty good show for you. And then Bash for Cash is the Bash for Cash, and it always will be. It's the Bash.
We hadn't been there forever, man. We're pumped. We're ready.
Yeah. And then and that's a pretty good spacing too, a little close between April, which April's probably a little bit lighter of a build, but between Bash and Gold Rush, that's a pretty good space for you too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel last year, there was a couple there. I took 2 cars to Bristol, and also built the Freedom Hall in Madison. I think I ran one in between that, and it just was kind of too full. This year, I feel like we're planned out. I've got them stripped out, ready for the year. I wanted them stripped out January 1. That way, I was pretty planned out. I get a little weird on that. I like to plan stuff out, so you kind of got to anymore.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And what I never say I learned something, because I feel like I got to learn it over and over and over, and I just get a little better and a little better. But I feel like I learned things all my life, and what I've had to learn about planning is that piece of flexibility when things change or don't go, and not letting that wreck the system or the journey, and just it's like when it's like when an inspector tells you, like, you can't do this, and you're like, well, that's exactly what the rule says. Nope, you can't do it. And you leave pissed. It's like using that, what they told you and what they gave you, to your advantage. And when you come back and they're like, shit, we should have just let him have what he had before. So like you're going to face things throughout the year, but overcoming those things is part of what makes for the good story, I guess, is where I was going with that.
Yeah, it's all you got to enjoy every bit of the process, I guess, and I do. Strip them out, build them, drive them. Driving's obviously the better part of it. It's all fun.
I agree, man, because a lot of people bitch about stripping them out or pay people, but I feel like that's when you get to know a car. It's like you got a relationship with that thing until the day you take it to the scrap pile.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Zach, man, it's been great. It's been great catching up with you. We don't cross paths far enough, but I'm happy that at least this time today, and then at least for a fact one more time this year, seeing Gold Rush, hopefully the Bash for Cash. My daughter's graduating that same weekend, so I may be able to sneak over there for the good, once it gets good there for the feature. Yeah. But I mean this when I say it. If come Gold Rush time, if you guys need anything, you know where to find me. And whether it's helping get a car, that being one of your concerns, going out there, a little light on the load for help. I'm always looking for something to get into, and I got Parker. Maybe we can get him doing something so we can both get fired.
I don't know if it's going to be effective, Zach, but there will be effort. You're just going to probably have to redo whatever I tried.
Yeah.
Anything?
We won't have any 03s for him to work on, so you might be disappointed.
I don't know anything about 03s. I don't know anything about any car.
What's an Impala?
Probably the less I know, the better, honestly. It's when I start thinking I know what I'm talking about, that's when I'm royally screwed,
Well, Zach, any last words, man? Anything you want to say before we send you off and then close this podcast out?
Nah, man, I think I'm good. I look forward to all this, the journey out there. I know the guys are pumped up. We're just ready to move forward, man. Stay positive. I appreciate you reaching out, Mark. It's a big opportunity there. And Parker, I'm sure we'll cross at some point, but good meeting you over the computer here.
Yeah, glad to finally talk to you. You guys are freaking staple family, man. You guys have been fun to watch, and excited we get to put you on the big stage.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hopefully we can do some good.
Yes, sir. Tell everybody I said hello.
Will do.
And we'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks.
Take care, Zach. Mr. Parker.
Morning.
That is that's exciting to see what it means to somebody like that. And he speaks for the whole crew of how they're excited and they're talking about it at the dinner table. And that's what Nicole, that's what Chris, that's what Sam, that's what they're looking for. They're not looking to be a get-rich promoter. And I'm not saying any of them do. I'm just saying they want people to have that experience. That's why they do the things that they do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm freaking jealous, man. Like the Eatons and, quite a few other families like the Allens. There's just Derby families that they just live and breathe it. And, they all, help each other raise the bar. And, they're so freaking talented. And just to see that experience, that they'll have as a family to run on that stage, I mean, be awesome to see what the Eatons can pull off. I mean, just as a family memory. I mean, me personally, I don't know if my dad was in my pit crew, if I could trust him to change a tire, So to see some of these other, Derby families that, you get brought up in it, it's every dinner conversation, every family outing, the women are yelling at you to quit talking about it. That's awesome. They're living in that space 24/7, and it shows on the track. Like, families like the Eatons, the Johnsons, like when they show up, they're there to mean business, and everyone knows their role. And I'm sure their mom has just as important of a role as, anyone else, keeping that whole thing flowing, I mean, it's a well-oiled machine. So
everybody and a lot of people go unnoticed, but they don't go unappreciated. And I'm glad we get to have people like Zach on this Wecrash podcast to show some things like that. But also, here's these 8 teams that wouldn't be so wrong to kind of feel like, oh, here comes these newbies, like, welcome to South Dakota, mother effer. But to get to humanize these teams and show just one piece of them, and if they're on a team with 3 other guys, the other 3 guys are probably as equally or greater cool and down to earth. It really shows that, hey man, these guys aren't coming here with a big cockhead on their shoulder like, oh, we're gonna come here and we're badass. They're like, we got to do some homework. We got to figure some things out. We're at a little bit of a disadvantage, and we're just thankful and blessed to be running against that caliber of competition we're in. So I hope by having them on here, it helps show those 8 teams that they're coming out of the love for Demolition Derby, not out of ego and all these things that make those 8 teams want to be like, yeah, screw these guys. It's an opportunity for everybody to get to know new people that you're going to be friends with for the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see what, the other 2 teams are when we get to some future episodes. But before that, we'll kick over real quick to our sponsor for today's episode, and then me and Mark will close this out after.
Mr. Gray Area, Mr. Ralph, he's still trying to sell like 90 cars or 300 cars. You got a pile of cars and a pile of parts. So it's good to have him on as a sponsor. We don't know the details, but I'm thinking out loud here without.
Froze there, Mark?
I did. So I'll just repeat it in case you didn't hear it. Without permission or a plan, I'm just going to say it out loud that any businesses are interested in sponsoring Wecrash. We'll get the details for what that looks like. We'll communicate that. But we do appreciate the folks that we've already got on. And I know that if I know Ultimate Derby, they always do the right things with that support to try to just enhance and make better and grow. And I can get behind that anything that's I like to live. Parker, are we there, man? Are we to the end?
I think we are. I think we pulled it off, man.
You gonna go work on your car?
Yeah, I better. I mean, we talked to some pretty motivated individuals today, and I doubt they're crawling back into bed after talking to us on the podcast. They're probably in the shop and making good things happen, so I probably ought to attempt that in some fashion, I guess.
Yes, you should. You should always choose work over think. You sit around and think, you're going to get in trouble. That's why I say it's going to be good that your car is not done a month early. I hope I see that car and it ain't even painted yet because you're still working on it when you get there.
Speaking of, gray area and like the Williams tranny brace that he sells now, it's kind of a dangerous little tranny brace because my transmission is still sitting next to the car, but I got everything all pressured in, and I'm like, I can throw that in here in a minute. I can add the tranny later with that, custom brace where you don't lose the pressure. So it's a dangerous tranny brace for a procrastinator, Mark. It's pretty bad.
Interesting. So your engine and the trans brace is in the car, but not the transmission?
Yep. Yeah, when we were going to put it in, we had to wait for some different dowel pins, and another spacer. And so I was like, I got all the stuff here. I'm all ready to rock. I got everything pressured. And that transmission just keeps looking at me every time I walk in the shop. And it's like, hey buddy, you want to put me in the car? And I'm like, wait a minute. But tell you what, team show weekend, whether it's, Gold Rush, Cornhusker, or any other team show, I'm going to be pretty damn happy I have that tranny brace if anything were to happen,
Yeah, man, that's cool. I don't want to digress because we're at that 1 hour mark, but I'm definitely going to pick your brain and learn more about that because I'm fascinated. And I look forward to continuing this conversation. And if anybody out there is like me, like, yeah, we want to learn more too, Mark, or maybe already knows and I'm the one that's under the rock, which is possible. Maybe we talk about that some more down the road when the time's right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll sign off,
Yeah, Parker, you have yourself a good day. Happy New Year again. I'm going to be saying that all January because I'm excited about 2026 on a family, a career, and a derby level. I've got all my goals set, and I'm already swinging at them, buddy. So I look forward to what's next with you, and we won't quite spill that out yet, but we know that it's a new team coming to Gold Rush, and that alone is exciting in itself. So we can't wait to share who that is on episode number 23. I'm Mark Elliot and Parker Lazenby signing off for Wecrash TV Derby Podcast.